Back in the saddle, looking for a little affection. This Tim's Your Giants Trades are brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. It is day dos eventos, por favor. Also known as legal tampering, day number 2. We do have some giant moves to talk about, but I also want to talk about the giant grades in reference to free agency so far because I think the first set of moves. Good morning, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, Slider. Good afternoon, James. Omega Supreme's in his house as well. I'm going to make sure we get to everyone in the chat. I see Mike Lee in there, but I want to talk about what the Giants have done so far. But before we do that, let's address the elephant in the room. Some of the other signings that the Giants have brought on board. These are now I'm going to call these now second level signings, and it's not a terrible thing. It's not something we're looking at and saying, oh, these are god awful. But they are, some of these signings are met with such glee and jubilation that I don't get it, and I don't understand why. And that's okay, because I guess you have to have something to talk about. I guess you have to have something to bring up. But I take a look at the Greg Newsome signing, the 6 foot, 192 cornerback, former first round pick, early 20s, guy that's bounced around the league a little bit. Guy's been over in Cleveland, Jacksonville. If you take a look at the totality of his career, if we literally, like I said, I don't know if any of these contracts are right yet, because nothing's official yet till tomorrow, till everything goes over to the league off. So nothing's official yet. But I can't see giving this guy $10 million for 1 year. I understand that it seems like 3 years. $3 million of it is guaranteed. But I cannot see that the Giants would have given this guy $10 million, even with incentives. Because if you take a look at the totality of the career, if you take a look at how he plays, and you take a look at what he's done in the league, you kind of scratch your head a little bit and say, okay, is this a Denard Wilson project? But it's an expensive project. It's cheaper than Cordell Flott. But if you take a look at him, Greg Newsome, 67%, 641 yards last year. Year before that, 67.4%, 470 yards. He didn't even play that much. And even in 23, that was his best season, but he still gave up over 541 yards. Had more pass defenses than any other, but his career totality as his snap count has gone up, has gotten worse. You definitely need people in the backfield. There's no doubt in my mind that you need people in the defensive backfield. You lose Cordell Flott. To me, was not that great of shakes because you weren't going to pay him that amount of anyways. But for giant content creators to go gaga over a guy that honestly just doesn't fit the bill at times in reference to the salary that it commence with his talent, but we'll see. Like I said, it's only right now looks like only $3 million guaranteed, and we don't know. We don't know the number yet. So we're not gonna worry about that. And then we got Alexander, the safety. For the amount that we're bringing Alexander the safety, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But for people that are going nuts over this guy, I believe he was ranked 177th out of 200 safeties. And everyone goes back to 2004, 2024, I should rephrase that, in reference to his best season, because that's the most he's ever played. Before that, he played 3 years. He played sparingly. He got hurt again last year. He's a Dane Belton guy. To me, he's going to be a guy on this roster that's going to play special teams. And if you take a look at the 2024 roster of the Baltimore Ravens, that was the year they had their worst secondary. And this guy played well in a bad secondary. So again, I'm looking at it saying I'm not overly enthused by it, but if it's a depth piece signing, I get it. I'm with it. I have zero issue with it, but it just in the grand scheme of things, to me, it doesn't move the needle on the win-loss total for the New York Football Giants, which is fine. because not every move is going to be a needle mover. We had the needle movers yesterday. The Tremaine Aluminor deal coming back at $39 million for 3 years. That was a great move. That was we talked about it yesterday. That's why I give that pick an A. I give that pick an A right now. Because if you also take a look at what other players have signed for, it's fucking crazy. Wandale Robinson got 78. Cordell Flott got 45. Dane Belton got $6 million, and Micah McFadden got almost $1 million. Almost what did he get? He got $5.5 million. It's fucking nuts. And I understand you have to use your cap space, but it's insanity. It's insanity wrapped in a riddle. And like I said, I know he resigns and he's going to bolster. I read the report. He's bolstering the young core. Micah McFadden has a 13.6% missed tackle percentage. Quay Walker, who got $10 million a year, is 3. But let's get back to Tremaine Aluminor. Let's get back to the Aluminor deal, because $39 million, $13 million. We've shown it before. The above average NFL starter at the right tackle position makes between 10 and 18 million. You nailed it right. You nailed it right in the middle there at 13 million. You nailed it. A plus. A plus, not even in my mind. The value he brings to the team. You're going to have him for 2 more years. He's a good guy. Is he going to be in the long-term plans for the New York Football Giants? No, of course not. But he is a good guy coming in that makes sense for this team, and he is a home run pick at that salary and at his production level. So you take a look at that and you're like, okay, I got like I said, to me, that's you're sitting at an A plus right off the bat. And that's not even a free agent. That's just guy, that's bringing a guy back. Isaiah Likely. We've been talking about Isaiah Likely on this channel since before John Harbaugh came on this team, because of the fact that you are now putting a guy that played 250 snaps in the slot. He can also be an outside wide receiver. He's also played tight end. Everyone that wants to talk about his blocking, please stop posting the videos of his blocking. They're all like, he's an inline blocker. He's not a good blocker. You could say whatever you want about Isaiah Likely, but don't. We've said this on this channel a million times. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. And I love it because then he's a zone blocker, and I love it because my wife said it best. So he just basically blocks whomever's in his area. And I was like, well, I can't tell you you're wrong, but for a guy that can vertically stretch the field, for a guy that can open up the middle of the field itself, can take pressure away from the outside where Malik Neighbors is, who can create running lanes in reference to his vertical presence and his vertical threat, is that big safety blanket for Jackson Dart. Who, if you park him 6-7 yards down the field, he's a big target, not like Wandale Robinson, who's 5'11", or not 5'11", I was going to say 4'11". But he is that vertical threat that the Giants have missed in the interior of the field for years. You got to go back to Shockey, a guy that's going to be able to stretch the defense and command a presence within the field. So and you take a look at the contract within market value, fucking A plus. I'm not just saying that because I like the kid. Then you got Jordan, he'll be kicking the punts. I love it because you had Jordan Schultz kind of say, we need to break down this $3 or $12 million deal that made him the highest punter in the NFL right now. We got to break it down how many punts it is. No, I don't need to fucking break it down. It's called field position. It's called, if you get in trouble, I don't need to worry about the Scottish Hammer even jerking it to the outside.
That's what she said.
Putting it in the middle of the field like Matt Dodge, or not understand directional punting. It's called playing the field. It's called field. The NFL has won and lost the time in field position, with field position. And you got a guy that is probably one of the best punters in the league, and he's fucking deadly. And again, you're paying him $4 million a year. It's unless you're Dallas, your premium, it's kind of hard to play without a punter. I loved it. I love this. And again, like I said, another A plus, another hitting it out of the park. It's another Harbaugh guy. You got to love it. Another good signing within contract value. Perfect. We got to look at Tremaine Edmonds. We talked about him before. I liked Tremaine Edmonds before. I wasn't going to fucking trade for him because of the fact that I knew if you traded for this guy, you were going to be on the hook for a huge number. But now you get him at like 12, 13 million a year and you lock him in on your terms and he's 27 years old. Is he a more athletic Bobby Okereke? 100%. Is he going to be the guy that he was in Buffalo? You hope. You hope he's going to be the guy from Buffalo. I don't want the guy from the. I mean, I'll take the guy from the Bears because he would still be the best linebacker we've had in a couple of years. But I'll take him his Bears tenure. But I want him his last year in Buffalo. Is he going to fit this scheme? I hope. I guarantee he is because of the fact that we have no clue what the fucking scheme is. But he is a guy once again that if you take a look at contract value, you take a look at age, you knocked it out of the fucking park. You literally knocked it out of the park. So I can't fault the Giants now. Like I said, on those four right off the bat, those are going to be your big day one signings for the New York Football Giants. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to have these types of signings. Like I said, I kind of had a feeling that Giants free agency was not, we talked about it before, they weren't going to do anything huge. They weren't going to go make this huge splash by overpaying for guys. They showed restraint. They showed the ability to figure out, okay, this is a team that we have put together and we are going to work it from the inside out. And that's what the Giants did. I did not see the Graham Gano news. I mean, someone had mentioned that Graham Gano was coming back. I did not. I have not seen that come across the board. If he is, I mean, that's interesting. He would have to have taken a huge pay cut. I do not see Graham Gano back. I do not see any news and information about Graham Gano coming back right now. But like I said, yeah, I mean, there's I'm trying to double check here and make sure. Let's see here. Typically automatic deal. Giants recently re-signed Art Green per source. He's an exclusive right free agent. Green is a big physical corner who is really good on special teams. A perfect fit for John Harbaugh. I always love everyone. Everyone right now. This is from Jordan Renan. Everyone's a perfect fit for this system right now. Everyone just needs to take a big just breathe, guys. Not every pick we get is going to be the most perfect fit for everything. I mean, how many people can tell you who the hell Art Green is? I know he was a gunner. I remember him being a gunner, and he's a special teams guy. So like I said, you're re-signing one of your guys, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with bringing back Mr. Art Green. I would like someone to tell me. I'll give someone a prize if they don't Google it and tell me what Art Green's number is. I will give someone a prize out of the prize box if they could literally tell me what Art Green's number was. But according to certain giant content creators, that's gonna be the greatest fucking signing ever. Hit that like button, says Big Greg. But the Giants have done it right. It's been a long, arduous journey from Joe Judge to Brian Dable to where we are now. It has been a large, arduous journey. Guys, I was joking. I have no idea what fucking Art Green's number is. I have no idea. Evidently, no one else does either. Art Green is a $1 million body at the position where bodies needed, period. Yeah. And that's a great way to sum it up. And he's a special teamer, so I gotta like it. We gotta give out the big shout out to Funky Town dropping in those wonderful New York Giants Straight Talk OG memberships. I always like to see who's hiding in the chat. That's why he does it. That's why I love Big Don. Oh, Big Don. Just so you remember, there is a new war bond dropping on the 17th. My son came home and literally told me. I literally don't even. Eli, is that you? Is that Eli? I don't even know. because I cover the team. I always try to get Eli to come on, but he's always either, I'm at work, I have a job, I have other things to do. Then be part of the Giant community and be like, hey, it's the Giant community, man. You're supposed, when someone tells you to come on, you're supposed to just drop everything and come on, man. That's how this fucking game works. So they tell me. Of course, I never do it. Giants revival in his house. It's Eli. It's Eli. Eli likes me. I'm just saying that because my mom's not around. I'm not rich like you. I have to work. That's not an excuse. Your excuses are your own. Miss your brother. You should come on one day. You really should. All three of you guys should come on. Come on one day. Come back. Because, you know, this is the kinder, gentler Tim. But if we look at this, and we look at this from a perspective between, and I even saw, you're right. I even saw the Mac, you know, you're right. You are 100% right. I didn't even think about that. You go back to McAdoo, you go back to Shermer, you go back to Judge, you go back to Brian Dable. Where has the stability ever been here? Where is this? We haven't seen this stability in years. We have not seen these panic moves. And let's be honest, the Giants
bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G. 72 million. Not worth it. As you can plainly see.
The ultimate panic move, Kenny G. The ultimate panic move, Kadarius Toney. The ultimate panic move, Wando Robinson. Not Wando Robinson. Well, because he's gone, so we can't say anything mean about Wando anymore. Yeah, we can now. We can't because he's a motherfucker because he abandoned us. But we made these moves that just didn't make sense. And now we have the adults in the room, and the adults are saying, and Dawn is saying, hey, listen, my calculator has a 7. I'm seeing these numbers. It's New York Knicks revival. Oh shit! Did I call you New York Giants revival again? Did I call you New York Giants revival again? I'm sorry if I did that, Eli. No, I'm not. I lied. I'm not really that sorry. But we finally have adults in the room that are making business decisions and taking a look at this roster and saying, okay, we are in a right position. We are moving towards a right direction. And as we move forward that way, we are going to have the ability. And like I said, I don't see a Herculean turnaround like we see with like we saw with the Patriots. I've said it before. I don't see us doing that next year. And there's no problem with that. There's no issue with that because I still think it's going to take time. We have still many holes in this roster. We still have the rest of free agency. We got to go rest of the draft. We have to restructure a whole shitload of deals. Hold on. Someone's sending me something here. Someone's sending me something, guys. You know we like to get stuff. We like to get stuff here, but someone's sending me stuff. But Dawn, and I, it's funny. I keep thinking that, and I keep saying that over and over again because I think that if Joe Shane's not fired after the draft, that he, of course, is going to be here throughout the rest of the year, and the Giants won't get rid of him. And I have a feeling that the Giants are going to potentially move Dawn, into the general manager position, which could potentially be the first female general manager. And you got to love that. You literally have to love that. Because of the fact that if she has all this cachet with the NFL itself, she's done all this work. She's negotiated these contracts. She's done all these things. Basically, what she is doing for the Giants, Dawn did for the NFL. And I've said it before. I could see her coming down the pike and literally being the next general manager of the New York Football Giants. And she's off to a great start. She is literally right now off to a great start with this team and this organization. She is doing what Joe Shane couldn't do. And the same thing with John Harbaugh. Do you really think a lot of these players would have come here or come back to the New York Football Giants at the same contract values that they received right now if John Harbaugh was not here? Does Isaiah Likely come here? No. Does Tremaine Aluminor come here? There's a potential he could have came here. But right now, if we take a look at it, like I said, I doubt these guys would have came back. I doubt it. And I doubt we would have had this free agent period. Slider says, pure adults, mature decisions being made, Tim. But to Joe Shane, he'll be, hell, I'm an adult. Now, listen, Joe Shane's eating a bunch of fucking Uncrustables. If you're 10 years old or 11 years old, I can deal with you eating Uncrustables. I can deal with that bullshit. But when you're 40 years old and you're eating Uncrustables as you're driving to your job in your electric car to the New York Giant facility, Mike Lee says Joe found wandering the Pine Barrens with haggard and lost the look on his face, muttering, I'm the GM of the Giants. When you have to have a press conference at the Combine, and I'm so upset I didn't go to the Combine. I had an opportunity to go to the Combine and I turned it down because I really didn't want to sit there in Indianapolis for 4 days and watch people run straight. But I forgot and I did not even think about. And I had no clue that the NFL was going to kick off with the Joe Shane press conference. I had no clue. I was like, well, shit. If I would have known that there was going to be the Joe Shane press conference, and if I would have known that there was going to be an opportunity to ask Joe Shane questions, well, fuck yeah, I would have went. I didn't even think about it. We all know what happens when I ask Daniel Jones the question. That didn't go over well. Imagine me have the opportunity to ask Joe Shane a question.
Joe Shane, this is a New York Giants Straight Talk Believe Network. I have a question for you.
Yeah, that would have been great. Brandon says, do the Giants take Sonny Styles at 5 still? Yes. Yes, you do. 100%. But the question is going to be, as we take a look at this free agency, what are the other teams going to now do ahead of us? That's going to be the big question. What are these teams now that we thought may have gone a different direction? What are they going to do now after they've gone through free agency? There is going to be some, there may be, outside of Fernando Mendoza, I think there's going to be some movement. I still think the Jets take Reese. I still think they take Reese. I still think they need the big body. I think they could be considered maybe a David Bailey there, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do think they're going to take Reese. I think what Arizona is what they've done right now. I still think they're going to probably take a linebacker like a David Bailey. I think the Titans now, which I thought was funny. I didn't think the Titans would go running back, but the way they're building their offense, the way they're constructing this around Cam Ward, way they went out and get Wan'Dale Robinson, I can see Jeremiah Love now going to the Titans, which then leaves us completely open to take Sonny Styles at 5. Even adding Tremaine Edmonds, you can now potentially have, and I've said this before, if you are running a true 3-4, even if you're running a hybrid 3-4, your defensive ends are undersized and they can't set the edge. It's not like back in 2011 when JPP and Matthias Kiwanuka each had 80 plus tackles from the defensive end position. You have two undersized defensive ends who have a propensity to over pursue. And the easiest way to fix that is to get yourself 2 linebackers or 3 linebackers. And like I said, I would pair Sonny Styles as the outside linebacker, and then I would have Tremaine Edmonds play alongside Styles, and I would put them on Abdul Carter's side, because Abdul Carter to me is still the biggest issue right now in regards to, if I'm the defense, if I'm in the offense, I'm running right at this year. I'm running right at Abdul Carter. I've said it before last year. If I'm the Giant opponent, I was running right at Dexter Lawrence last year. This is a team that gave up 5.3 yards per carry You could get us Caleb Downs if you're going to play him in the box, but I would rather skip on a 4th tier defender. And I'm not saying he's I'll refer to as a 4th level defender. You have your defensive line, which is level 1. The linebackers is level 2. Corners are level 3, and level 4 is your safeties. I would rather have a 2-tier a 2-level or 2-tier defender who can help stop and mop up if Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, or even Dexter Lawrence allow someone to get into the second level. And Sonny Styles, to me, it could be a 3-down linebacker, sideline to sideline guy. We've talked about this before. He's athletic. He gives immediate credibility with his play, and you have to focus on him. And like I said, if the only change I'm thinking right now, the only change that I'm really thinking, because I still have my top 3 has been Fernando Mendoza, Reese, and David Bailey. Those have been my top 3 guys going to those teams, going to the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Jets, or the Jets and the Cardinals. The only thing I'm really changing on right now is the fact that Love, I do think could go to Tennessee and be a part of that Brian Dable attack with Wan'Dale Robinson and Daniel Bellinger and Cam Ward. I do think that could be a philosophy. I still think Caleb Downs goes as low as 10 to Cincinnati, potentially. I was thinking Caleb Downs fucking Miami needs so much. They need so much on defense. I think they have like 1 corner. I said between 10 and 11, Caleb Downs is going to go. But I do think that Miami, with the sign of Malik Willis, will probably go, if possible, go offensive tackle. But I do think that it just makes sense. A'Shawn Robinson's a free agent. I saw A'Shawn Robinson got released and got out of that $10 million contract. A'Shawn Robinson was not a great fit here. I think A'Shawn is probably more towards the end of his career. And for those that do not remember the story, I drank A'Shawn Robinson's green drink at the Giant facility. Well, I like green smoothies. And there happened to be a smoothie in the cafeteria that said A. Robinson on it. And well, it was at the end of the day. So I drank it. So I took it out of the refrigerator and I drank it. But that's all right. I don't need him back. Emrod says what he says. If we take Styles at 5, Jacob Rodriguez there at 37, do we go back to the linebacker? No. No. We had Ryan Roberts on yesterday from A to Z Sports talking about the NFL draft, and he had a great point, and I'm trying to cut it into a short. He had a great point. This is not a great draft talent-wise. And most of the NFL will tell you next year, 2027 draft is a much more talent-laden draft. The Giants have 3 picks in the first 105 picks. This is not but while this is not outside of maybe the top 7 or 8 guys that great of a draft, positionally what the Giants need, this is a pretty good draft. You can get a safety in this draft. You can get a linebacker in this draft. Would I double dip with a linebacker at 1 and 2? No, probably not. I would probably still have to take a look at a wide receiver in the 2nd round. We don't have a 3rd rounder, but I've said it before. I like Josiah Trotter, Jeremiah Trotter's kid in the 4th round. He is not a 3-down linebacker, but he is a good inside presence off the ball linebacker who's not great in coverage, but he's got a little bit of his dad in him. And he's got a nose for the football. He can tackle well. He's just not going to give you a lot in coverage. He's a good athlete. He's just not going to give you much in the way of the way of, I don't know, covering anyone, but he's a good fit. He would be a good fit. Big Joe was on yesterday. Mr. Tremaine Edmonds might be the perfect complement to Sonny Styles for fix the run defense. Edmonds is a stack and shed linebacker who is disciplined and does not make many plays behind the line. He's disciplined and allows Sonny to freelance. I think Tremaine Edmonds is a better fit than Bobby Okereke. Bobby Okereke, to me, needs to be more in a Wink Martindale style defense. You saw his production drop. You saw a lot of players' production drop after 2 years of Shane Bowen. I do think you're right. I do think Sonny is a guy that is going to be disciplined enough that you could play him a couple yards off the line of scrimmage. And like a Blake Martinez, he can flow to the ball carrier. He can flow, and he's not going to get lost in the sauce. He's not going to get lost in the mix, which when you have someone like that in the middle, you are correct. You can have an athletic linebacker, Sonny Styles-esque, have the ability to freelance. I agree with that 100%. Big Greg says, I have a bit of critique for Mendoza. He is great, but he had a great defensive coaching staff, Shanahan and OC, and he's never threw the ball more than 25 times per game. Was he spectacular last year? Does Indiana win the national championship without Fernando Mendoza? Those are the questions you need to ask. Do they win the championship without Fernando Mendoza? No, they don't. Let's make it happen. I will email you. I said that very ominously. No, that would be the I will email you. That would be more ominous. We got to email New York Revival. Oh, I said New York Revival, even though we all know it's Giants Revival and maybe Knicks Revival. I lost my train of thought. 13th highest paid tight end is a good signing. He has potential to be even better. Of course, that's going to be Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely's been stuck behind Mark Andrews for years. Isaiah Likely had the foot injury coming out of camp. He's never been truly a focal point. And I do think that he should be a focal point. I do think and that's what he's going to be. RVFD. Hey, Tim, would you trade Tibbs and a 6 to Jacksonville for Thomas? I would. Would Jacksonville do it? Probably not. These crazy reports that they were considering a 4th round pick. Well, we'll take, no, it was a 5th. And I loved it because I was saying on the stream yesterday, listen, you do a 5th round pick for Brian Thomas Jr. If that's what you're asking for, I'm going to call up Indianapolis myself and say, hey, listen, guys, I'm going to give you guys a 5th. I'm going to give you 2 5th round picks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 5th round picks. Oh my God. Yeah, he's not. That's first of all, I don't think Jacksonville is going to want the expiring contract of our old buddy Kayvon Thibodeau. I think they're going to at least want a 2nd round pick. Ian O'Connor says, I put the Giants have done well so far between that B+ and A- range. Well, I don't like Ian O'Connor anymore. Ian O'Connor, I don't even know who you are, but you're a fuckhead. Flott was a bit of a setback. Oh, so Ian O'Connor wanted to overpay for Cordell Flott for 6 good games in the last year. Okay, that makes sense. Because we couldn't find a slot receiver on our own team. A slot corner on our own team to replace him. Giants wanted to go 2 for 3 on their own free agents, but clearly they are a better football team than they were 28 hours later. This is why Giant media is fucking stupid. They're a better team, but I only give them a B+. They didn't overpay. They did everything right, but I only give them a B+. Giants also just re-signed Caleb Murphy. For those that do not know who Caleb Murphy is, you're in good company. Again, we'll do another contest. What's Caleb Murphy's number? I just, and people say I'm the negative one. I see what the Giants are doing. I've always said this before. I've said this a million times before with the New York Giants. Show me your philosophy. Show me what you're doing. Show me what you think you can do and what you can accomplish and how you're going to make this team better. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, is making the team better each week, week in and week out. And to say that they're only a B because they didn't re-sign Cordell Flott after everything else they have done, after the contracts which they kept in range of average salaries per these positions. This is why people look. I mean, this is why you should look at all Giant media with a grain of fucking salt. Because now everything's like, hey, you know what? They're not that good. That wasn't that great. Let me see where we're at here. Bellinger deal was a shocker. Good for, like I said, the Bellinger deal, the Flott deal, and the Wando Robinson deal were all shockers. If you want to be honest, they were all fucking shockers. But they also went to a team with $100+ million in cap space. You need to spend the cap space by league rules. I think you have to be within 93% or 94% of total money sent for your salary cap. So because back in the day, owners used to just be like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to spend any money. I'm going to lose, but I'm still going to get my revenue deal. Greg says, I think the punter position could maybe be the best signing. Field position for the defense. Shorten the field for Dart will help. Oh, I agree. And that's why I said I'm not sitting there going, well, he's the highest paid punter. Oh, we did wrong on that. No. Field position. Field position is and will be a huge part of your game. To your point, shorten the field for the offense. Your own offense. Pin their offense deep. Allow your team to get better field position. It makes sense. We're 2 subscribers away from 12,600. I should do something for the 12,600th subscriber. I don't know what we'll do, but maybe we'll do. I think we'll do something. We'll do something when we hit 12,600. When I thought I was leaving, I tried to burn everything down, and we lost a couple thousand subscribers because I didn't care. And now I'm like, oh well, shit, subscriber count's gone up again. So, but we'll do some. I think it's a good milestone. 12,600. I think that's a good milestone. We'll do something. I think I can find out who this 12,600 subscriber is. Oh yeah, I can. Subscribers right here. Recently joined. Okay. All right, we could do that. The Indigenous American Warrior subscribed. Okay, so we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do that. We'll do something. I saw Greg was in. Where's Greg? Said he was. Greg, you're going to the U.S. now? You're en route now? I'm gonna be in New York on Thursday. I'm going to the St. John's game at noon, and then the Seton Hall game at 4 or 2. I can't remember what time. So we're gonna be doing that. So hopefully the Giants don't do anything on Thursday. Let's see here. Guess Dane Bell will not want to leave in MetLife. Told my friend to get used to seeing him chasing down the wide receivers and touchdowns. Yeah, that was a $5 million range. That was a $5 million bundle of fun that they're gonna have. Let's see there. We got that. Let's see here where we go. Oh, B-Will says needy teams make a lot of moves before the draft. Well, yeah, and also you have to spend the cap space. But I agree. Slider says, I love how I was called a gentleman to the dude who were chatting with yesterday when we were talking about Abdul Carter improving his pass rush. That would be Ryan Roberts of A to Z Sports. He was a gentleman. Normally, we don't get a lot of gentlemen on this show. Normally, we get a lot of us. Let's see here. Did you see the hit Smith took for the Raiders? I think he's tougher now. I agree. Joe says, I like Mendoza, but he has, but he is too happy all the time. Is he possible serial killer? No, I don't think Mendoza's I don't think he's a serial killer. You know what he is, and some people hate it. He's Tim Tebow with a lot more talent. James Stein said the Giants need to cut Gano or our field goal. An extra point kicking situation will be bad. Basically, all New York needs to be revived. Let's see here. We also you need a nose tackle who can take a Hargrove or Quantum Jones or Caleb Banks in the draft. You do need a nose tackle. Even with the venerable Dexter Lawrence, you need a nose tackle. You do. Is there one in the draft that you could get? Because you got to remember, guys, we don't have that third round pick. And I know it sounds weird to say, but like I said, you only have three picks in the first 105. And there's still so much to go through. If you're going to grab a nose tackle, it's going to have to be late. I like the kid. You know, it's funny. I like the kid from Ole Miss. He's big too. He's like 6'7", like 335 pounds. He was a senior. He is a guy, and I can't remember his last name. I'm trying to think of his last name. I'm doing my total recall. Harris. He is a guy, big body, big arms, understands. He's his from last or 2 years ago to this year, especially in his last final seasons, he learned how to hold his gaps. He learned how to hold his assignment, and at his size, he does it with authority. He does it with, this ability where he can. And like I said, I need my defensive tackle. I don't need you to get penetration.
That's what she said.
I need you to take up space and take on two guys. I need you to swallow up a guard and a center, which then will allow and give freedom to my rushing linebackers and my defensive ends. And I think Harris from Ole Miss, he's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the ability. Darius Alexander is not a run stopping defensive end. Defensive tackle. Dexter Lawrence is no longer a run stopping defensive tackle. The biggest issue that Harris had, and I think one of the issues that why you can get him later in the seventh round, probably in the seventh round, is because he's had some issues in his college. He got arrested twice. He got when did he get it? He got a DUI, and he had a domestic violence charge and an obstructing of justice charge back in, I think the DUI was 22, and he had the obstructing justice charge, I think 2024. So you're going to have to vet the guy a little bit. But like I said, he's been a solid citizen this last year. And like I said, he is a big body. He's a guy that I think at a seventh round pick, he's someone that you can bring in. He can do these things. Wide receivers at Mexican mustache linebacker in the second round. Who are you on board with, Tim? You already know who I'm on board with. If I can't have the porn stash and Gardner Minshew, I want Jacob Rodriguez. No, I'm not taking. I'm not taking linebackers 1 and 2. No, I can't do that. I can't do that whatsoever. You would want to do that, but you can't. But you know what you want to do right now? You want to go on the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. Everyone loves FanDuel. You love FanDuel. I love FanDuel. I've already said it once before. If you have not gone and downloaded the FanDuel app, what the fuck are you waiting for? Go to your app store. Go to whatever demonic thing that people go to for when they have a non-Apple phone, whatever that place is called. Get the FanDuel app now. Easiest app to use for your sports betting. New customers get $300 or up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. I'm going to say that again. New customers get up to $300 back in bonus bets for 10 days if your bets don't win. That's like saying, listen, if you suck at parlays for 10 days, we're going to give you some money back. That's like free money to try again so you can get better at your craft on the mighty FanDuel, because the FanDuel Sportsbook is probably one of the easiest sports books to do. We've said it before and we love it. You know what? There is so many parlays right now. A good parlay right now I just saw was for the Boston Celtics Spurs game. Jason Tatum, 20 plus points. Jaylen Brown to record 6+ assists. Wemby, 25 points. And Castle getting 8 assists. $10 wager gets you $131.39. And if you're a new customer and you lose, what did we just talk about? Does everyone remember what we just talked about? Does everyone remember what we just said? You can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. I'll wait. Go download the FanDuel app. Go to the App Store. Go to wherever Android people go. You fucking Skynet people go. I'll wait. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sportsbook in America. Don't forget to game responsibly. Go to FanDuel right now. I'm going to wait. T-Brad says, just subbed, but did that put you at 12th? Let me look. No, we're one away. You are so close. Go, Deck 6341. Go create another account and go sub again. We're at 12,599. Let me see if I can see that you subscribe. Let me see here. See all subscribers. Tell me else and being lonely. Yeah, I got now we're one subscriber away from 12,600. It's going to be a great prize. I don't know what it's going to be. Should we go in the prize box? Great prize. I stole this from Shane Bowen. After the booty chest crapped out, I went and stole this. You want to see all the turnovers? You ready? There you go. That's a prize. You can get a prize from the booty chest. Or a 2010 New York Giants yearbook. No, yeah. 2010 yearbook. Or the plate that I just ate a sandwich off of. Or, you know what sucks here? I have the future is now from the draft party. I have Daniel Bellinger and Wan'Dale Robinson sign this shirt. That's pretty fucked up. There's Wan'Dale Robinson's signature right there, number 17. This was from the draft party from a few years back. So maybe you could also win that. I have so many things that are just littering this floor. No, you can't have that. That's my Eli Manning jersey. 12,601. I got to wait a couple days to see who the 12,000th subscriber is. I got to wait. I'll have my son sub. Did your son sub? Because I got to wait a day to see exactly. There's no booty in the chest. No, but there, yeah, that's true. You want the plate? How did he reach you? Oh, Wan'Dale had some problems reaching me that day. But yeah, we just, I forgot. I got so many autograph things, and I feel bad because anyone that knows my office is littered with shit. I mean, not shit, literal shit. I mean, just with giant stuff. And I have autograph stuff. I have, you need a flag? Here's a giant flag for you. Let's play What's on the Floor. What is this? Oh, this is a good one. Wait, here's a good one. The 86 patch from the New York Football Giants. Eli Manning jersey. I got a pirate. Oh, here, wait. Autographed David Wilson jersey. The question is, what don't we have lying around? I still have the Carl Banks helmet, which I threw across the room one day. That came back. So now we're at 12,601. I will find out who the 12,000th person is, and we will we will have to make sure that they get a prize. Right now, says Denise, and it's not Denise. Right now, you think we have to go offensive guard in the second round. You have to look at, by the way, my name is Ken. Thank you, Ken. Ken, I always forget because I know you use your wife's account. And I find it very disturbing that I know that. That I know way too much about people that I never met. And I know their birthdays. I know where they work. I'm wishing them holidays. It's funny. I don't think the Giants are done in the draft in free agency. I don't think they're done yet. And you got to remember, John Runyon's still on the team. So I can't sit there and take a look at this and say, yeah, we're going to go guard. And if I did go guard, though, let me pull up my list. Like Santa. Making a list, checking it twice. If I can go in guard, and I'm going to go guard I can't go guard in the third round. You know what I really like? It's that fucking kid out of Iowa. And I'm trying to think of his name. Give me a minute. Bo Stevenson. He took a Herculean jump from 2024 into 2025. He is a guy he's a guy that I always like to say he violently attacks. He goes there, he attacks, and he generates this torque, he generates this power. He's got a little bit of a nasty streak in him. If you watched him play, he is rarely beaten in pass protection. He's sturdy, like the mighty oak. Strong upper body, good arm length, comfortable climbing into the second level. This is a guy that, if you take a look at his last 2 seasons at Iowa, doesn't get penalties. Had 0 penalties in 2 years. 0 penalties. Now, some people are going to say he doesn't have the T-Rex arms, but he's got below average arms. Justin Pugh will sit there and tell you the difference. Justin Pugh played tackle. Now, his lateral agility, not the greatest, but the fact that I'm playing him in the interior, so I don't really fucking care. Now, the only red flag with this kid is he missed some time in 22. I think he missed the entire 23 season, and he missed some games in 24, but he played all in 25. His tape, if you compare his tape from 24 to 25, has gotten dramatically better. And like I said, you're going to get a strong interior lineman who can handle the bull rush, who can tack with velocity and ferocity, who is not going to get penalties, and who is nasty. You want to pick him up in the fourth round? You want to trade back into the third? I'm good with that. It was my son that was 12,600. It would be ironic, don't you think? It would be ironic. He's an Eagle fan. Well, then you know what? I'm going to have to disallow that. We're going to disallow that. You know what you need to do? You need to go and email me at Tim at Online Big Blue. I should ask. You have a pen, Dex? Dex6341. You got a pen? Email me at Tim at onlineBigBlue.com. That's Tim from at onlineBigBlue.com. And I will send your son, who is an Eagle. You know what I will send your son? I'm going to send it to your son. I'm not sending it to you. If you email me at Tim at onlineBigBlue.com, I will send your son a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl ring. Caca! There you go. That's for being 12,600. This year, we're also going to be taking some people to the draft party, so make sure you stay tuned from that as well. I am convinced it makes less than $1 million a year. You can't afford to live in. No, you're probably right. New York Giants best viewers, Streambo.com, remove the space. I don't know what the fuck that means. For someone who majored in eligibility, you must have been an intellectual to major in philosophy. Well, okay. My house is paid off. The tax and utilities are $1,200. Well, that's not bad. Try living in Jersey. I thought we were talking about the Giants here. Tim doesn't read emails. Ask him how many unread emails he has. No. I read emails. No. I read emails. That's not the problem. Ask me how many unread text messages I have today. And I'm going to tell you, I have 224. I have 224 unread text messages today. I read emails, but I get text messages off the wazoo. Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker were nice deals for the Raiders. I told you Quay was probably going to get about $9 million. He got 10. And there's nothing wrong. Oh, I forgot. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. Because if we don't hit the like, this is Online Big Blue won't let me play. And that'll be your, we're at 43 likes. Oh, that's good. Okay. That's good. Let's see here. Tim, you got CarMax app on your phone. What the fuck? Oh, I sold a car. I sold a car. I also have a dog translator. And I have cars.com, and I also have FedEx. I get packages all the time. And I got Fubu, and I got Fandango because I like to go to the movies, and I got ESO Fitness because they are a sponsor. And I got Chase, and I got Outlook, and I got Facebook, and I got all that stuff. Couldn't find the MySpace app. That reminds me, what's the I only have 9 misread. I have 9 unread emails. 9. Okay. So I don't want to hear that I don't return my emails because I do return my emails. I don't want to fucking hear it. If I want to hear it, don't complain. I have 9 missed emails. I have 236 now. Shit. One day. I have 2 sons. One's a Giant fan. The other one's an Eagle fan. Problem with living in the mid of New Jersey. First of all, there is no middle of New Jersey. I'm from Trenton. So there is no central New Jersey. That doesn't count. You either have North or South New Jersey. There's no such thing as Central New Jersey. What's up, USO? Said Tim. What are your thoughts on the signing of Greg Newsome? Is he an upgrade over Flott? No. There we go. Look at that. Bang. I posted this on Twitter because I didn't know because we had a media consultant I met with a couple months back. And they said one of the things that I do wrong is the fact that even though I am right, I bring up things too early. So I even asked on Twitter, am I allowed to bring this up now? Because this is a guy, 67.9, 641 yards. This is a guy that does not play full seasons. This is a guy that gives up a lot of yards, a high completion percentage, and touchdowns. He did that in Cleveland. He did that in Jacksonville. If it's true that we've given him a deal up to $10 million a year, I'm assuming that Dawn and John Harbaugh both went to the bathroom and Joe Shane ran out of the closet and made this deal. If it's just a guaranteed $3 million deal, and like I said, I can't say right now what the deal is, so I'm not going to freak out about it. But no, he's not an upgrade. He is going to be another project, and we already have that project with Drew Phillips, Paulson Adebo, and Dante Banks. For Denard Wilson, he's another project guy. Is he better than Flott? If you take a look at last season, no. He's not an upgrade over Cordell Flott. Is the salary more commensurate with what he does positionally? Yes, if he plays a lot. Is he that big body corner? Not like a Marlon Humphreys, but is he the big body corner that Harbaugh likes? Yes. Could he potentially be moved into a more of a safety position? That's what something people aren't talking about right now. That's another direction. But like I said, that to me is not a home run pick. That to me is, oh my God, I knew that was coming. What the fuck you down? Big Don 315, Justin Pugh, baby. 315, of course, is from Syracuse University. I like Syracuse University, but I when I was younger, it was actually I went there on a recruiting trip. I've never told Don. I actually never told Don this story. This is how I know, like Flint Hall and all these other places, and they have these fucking steps. Yeah, these steps, and these steps you got to go up all day fucking long to get to these places. And I'm like, no, it's cold. There's too many steps, and it's cold. So, but that of course is. Let's see here. The Newsome deal is disgusting. Yeah, I can't tell you if the Newsome deal sucks or not.
That's what she said.
I can't, because I don't know. And here's the thing with all these deals. And this is why everyone's got to take everything with a grain of salt. We don't know. We don't know until all the contracts are turned into the league office, until everything is finalized. We don't know what the guaranteed money is. There's no way to assess what the cap ramification is on any of these deals. We have no idea what the bonus money is. We have no idea what the sign-on bonus money is. We have no idea what the workout bonus is, what anything is structured. So literally, I could look at this and say, okay, that's a good deal, that's a bad deal. But from the basic numbers, the Newsome deal doesn't make a lot of sense compared to everything that we have done so far this offseason. So, but I'm not going to sit there and like I said, throw a hissy fit, because I don't know. I'm still heartbroken when Patrick Ricard, Sebastian signed elsewhere. I didn't know Patrick Ricard. Let's see here. The Giants have waived Anthony Johnson, according to league sources. And that's also on the transaction report. That just happened right now. That came from Mom, also known as Patricia Traina. Traina. I don't even know what I'm saying her fucking name. So that's again. I'll play another fun game. What was Anthony Johnson's number? The Giants are going to be making a lot of moves. They're going to have to renegotiate a bunch of contracts. They're gonna have to do a bunch of things to get under the cap, but I kind of think that we see what they're doing now, and it's interesting because you signed 2 offensive players. I should rephrase that. You signed 1 offensive player. You re-signed a second offensive player. You then signed a few defensive players. So you can't really sit there and say, okay, there's a pattern here. The pattern here right now is, and you signed, of course, the punter. We were not going to draft the punter, but the pattern is this. You have to take a look at it from that perspective, that they really haven't tipped their draft plan. And I was kind of hoping that we would see, and like I said, there's going to be more guys that we're going to pick up. There's going to be some more moves, but I'm curious for Wednesday when the league year starts. What, at 4:00? NFL league, is it 4:00? League year starts 2026. Is it 4 p.m.? I always forget. It's at 4 p.m. on the 11th. So that's when all the 2025 contracts expire. So all that shit's going to come off the books. Legal tampering ends. The salary cap is set at $301 million. So once that hits and the league year starts, everything comes off the fucking books. And we're going to get a better idea and a better understanding once all the contracts go to the league office and get approved, what exactly the Giants spent, what they spent it on, and who, what they're doing. So I'm good with that. Justin Pugh, the king of pandering to his own stupid fan base. Yeah, I do have to agree with that. I do have to agree with that. Pete Terrell, what's up, brother? Tim, we need a wide receiver, corner, safety, offensive guard, defensive tackle, swing tackle, and if I missed anything else, we still need a kicker. And I'm worried we don't have enough cap space to fill half these gaps. You're going to have enough cap space. You're going to bring guys in at low-level contracts. You're going to bring guys in on the draft. You're going to have enough caps. Will the Giants be doing anything else spectacular in regards to free agency? I don't think so. Could they potentially sign a guy that thought he was going to get more money and then come to the Giants and maybe come in that perspective? Yeah, you might. But I think all the big names for the Giants were yesterday. The Brian Thomas Jr. trade, I don't see happening. I think Jacksonville's just floating to see what it is. You got a guy that had an off season when he missed like 3-4 games and he still had 70 receptions for 14 point yards, whatever. And he wasn't as targeted as much by Sunshine as he was in 24. So I don't think there's really any rationale that. But if they did move on from him in Jacksonville, they did go to the Giants. It's a great move because he makes like $1.8 million and then like $2 million because he's still on his rookie deal and he still has technically 3 years on his rookie deal. Now year 5 is going to be commensurate on everything that he has done in the first 4 years. So that number will be a lot higher. But for the next 2 years, he's like at 1.8 and $2 million. So I'm fine with that. Who do you think we target in the draft, wide receiver wise, that would fit the offensive scheme? Here's the problem with that. I'm looking at. You're probably going to take a wide receiver in the 4th and 5th round. That's what I would think. If you don't take one first round, you're probably not going to take one to the 4th or 5th round. And the question is going to be who I want a big target. I want a guy that is going to have, he doesn't have to have true vertical speed, but I want a true big target. That's a good question. That's a really good question. There's that kid. I can't think of the name of the college. It's a Division II school. Shit. Starts with a V. I believe he was at the Senior Bowl. Ted Hurst. 6'4", 206 pounds. He went to Georgia State. He went from some school, I can't remember what the name of the school was. And he spent it was 2 years I know he spent at Division II. Big guy, big presence, big speed, big production, explosive first step. 6'3", he's either 6'3" or 6'4", contested catch guy, shows a legitimate route tree. Now the problem is he's going to be raw. Press coverage gives him some issues. His run blocking, what I would say would be being nice, would be inconsistent at best. And he's a guy that needs to find his concentration. He's a guy that needs to. But if you're looking for a guy that's got talent that could come in and surprise, Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. There you go. I had to think about that for a second. That literally made my head hurt. Phil, what's up, Big Phil? Harb's like big guys. Do you see the wide receiver Boston at 37 if he is there? Also, thanks for what you do. Well, Phil, you're welcome. I just can't go wide receiver. I just can't. I mean, and it's not a. I know you have to go wide receiver. I do. I understand that. I do. But it's one of those things. Can I, with all the other needs, and yes, I know. Will Denzel Boston be there? Because I think the run's gonna be probably Tate, Lemon, Tyson. I think a lot of people are gonna be leery of Tyson's injury issues. I still like KC Concepcion, but that's you're looking at a guy that's a smaller guy and only like 180 pounds. Boston is a big guy at 6'4". It's like 225 pounds. The only thing I don't like about Boston, and of course he's out of Washington, he's not a speed. And like I just said this though, that it didn't matter, but he's not going to blow anyone away. He's not going to run past any true NFL corners. He's not going to run past them, but he's physical. He's intelligent. He's 6'4". He's going to bully guys. It reminds me of Boston, the old wide receiver that played for the Cardinals a little bit. I do think Boston will be the 4th wide receiver. I do think that it'll probably go Tate, Lemon, Tyson. And then I do think I think Tyson has the best ability and is the best true wide receiver in this draft, the best route runner. I think he's a guy that's I think he's the complete package. I mean, he runs faster than his 4.5 speed would indicate. He's a big guy. He's a big target, but I think a lot of teams are going to shy away from his injury history. And like I said, I think Denzel would be the fourth wide receiver off the board. So would I do it? We're going to need some wide receivers. We have so many needs still on this team. It's not like you can just pick a lane and say, boom. But no, I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it because in the second round, I'm still debating, depending on who they bring back at the guard position, who we could potentially look at as offensive linemen. I would go Styles right now. And like I said, I don't know, this could change because I don't know what else they're going to do, but I would go Styles at 5. I would probably take a guard or try to get a guard in the second round. Like I said, we only have 3 picks in the first 105. So unless we're going to jump back into the draft, and like I said, we've talked about it before. This draft is not a good draft. It's not a great draft. It's not a talent leading draft. 2027 is going to be a monster fucking draft. But at the positions of need for the Giants, this is a good draft for the Giants. I got to think about that. Phil, great question, Phil. Great question. Joe Ferry says, I kind of want to take a shot at Jordan Tyson, ultimate boomer bust guy. No, the Giants are not in that position. Ted Hurst, I am seeing a lot of people fall in love with him from the Senior Bowl. I'm worried that he'll be pushed up the draft boards. I do worry about that with Ted Hurst over at Georgia State. I do worry about that. But like I said, he's a physical guy. And to your point, I probably would have had before the Senior Bowl a late 4th, mid 5th, somewhere in between there round pick. And you always know there's always this guy. You think Jacoby Lane is going to be there in the 4th round? Ooh. I'm looking at my charts here. That's a good question too. It's just really hard to figure out how this is going to break out. And it's hard to fathom right now what certain teams are going to do, what certain teams are going to look for. I mean, no, actually, I do not think he's going to be there in the 4th round. Let's say Peter, I think Tyson, if he doesn't have the injuries history, he's a top 5 pick. Easy, by far away the best wide receiver. He is the best wide receiver in the draft. He is the best wide receiver in the draft. 100%. 1,000%. But the problem is this. He is a guy that you have to deal with these injuries. You have to take a look at it. Joe Ferry says, watch Cardinal takes highlights back to back for Tyson. You can see a massive difference. I think that, and I've said this before about Tyson and Tate. Some people have Lemon over Tate. There is a segment of people that thinks it goes Tyson, Lemon, Tate. I've seen boards where it goes Tyson, Boston, Lemon, Tate. I think, and this is the thing that Cardinal Tate which kind of, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it kind of reminds me of Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a polished guy. He's a technically sound wide receiver. He's a guy that runs precision routes. He's got a high level route tree, but he kind of reminds me of Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr., you can say it was the play of the quarterback that hampered him. You could say a lot of things, but his body of work in college, his demeanor, his physicality, it's what it reminds me of. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. did not come and take the league by storm like people thought he was going to. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Your mom is a fullback. My mom is dead. So yes, my dead mother is a fullback. Okay. My little cousin has 12 college offers plus Army and Navy. Oh, well, that's good, Big Don. You know, we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to talk about who your cousin is. You know, we're not allowed to talk about that. Let's all thank Alfred for bringing up my dead mother. Thanks, Alfred. Hamstring issue is the only thing I see a problem with. Broken bones or ACLs happens. It's the NFL soft tissue stuff that gets annoying. Oh, and Alfred, I'm just joking. My mother's alive. I'm just a dick. I'm a big dick, though.
That's what she said.
So I'm allowed. I always say that. People are always like, "You're big." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm allowed to say these things. I'm allowed to say what the fuck I want." Hamstring. Yeah, we talked about that with Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports. It's the soft tissue injuries. Those are the problems that really you can never prepare for. But like I said, I cannot take a medical risk on a guy in Tyson when I already have a medical risk right now on a guy coming back off an ACL. I don't need a sure. I'm not saying I need a sure thing, because if I needed a sure thing, I would have more than 48 likes. If I needed a sure thing, I would have 148 likes. What's wrong with you people? Hit the fucking like button. I forgot I'm not supposed to curse at people anymore. I'm not supposed to curse at people anymore. Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta answer this question. Why is some people don't see? And now they're texting me. Now someone see, this is how come I never get back to people for their text messages. Because people text me when I got other things to do. When I'm working here. Dustin Hoffman, I'm walking here. I'm walking. If I had other things to do, why is that not coming up that way? Verify that it is me. No, I don't want to verify that it's me. Fuck you. Verify it's you. I like to argue with my computer because my computer's stupid. Fucking stupid, my computer. What is 5 Yards Rush NFL podcast stages of the off season? What a bargain. What is that? I'm going to click on that. I want to click on that. Let's listen to someone else's podcast.
They're at the NFC West. So that's a big travel game, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to be chucking that ball a lot. I think you are correct, Pete. And you've actually bumped him up from the 7th round to the end.
It must be a
lot. I think you are correct, Pete.
It must be someone from a foreign country, definitely. Because I don't know what to say, mate. Let's see. Petro says thoughts on Bryce Lance. I haven't watched him, but I know his combines. Everyone's talking about it and falling in love. Is he a Mike Mamula guy at the combine? The former Bison from North Dakota. Is he Trey Lance's brother? Why do I think he's Trey Lance's brother? I'm trying to think about that. 6'3". I know he's like 6'3". He had 1,000. I know he had 1,000 yards. I know people like him. And he's another guy that's been moving up on the wide receiver board. I'm looking at, he's the kid that ran the 4.3. He's a kid that ran much faster, had like a 40-something inch vertical. He had like a 11 or 12 inch broad jump. One of the issues I have with him is when you're at North Dakota State, it's not like you're going against the highest level of competition. It's not Division II, but you're not like, you're not playing Ohio State. You're not playing, hell, you're not even playing Iowa. Yeah, he was a combine. He's a combine guy. I don't know. I would actually have to look more into it. But is he? Yes, he is. Okay, he is his brother. Okay. I'll take Downs at 5. I can't, man. I can't. We're gonna talk about this one last time, or at least 47 more times before the draft. In 50 years, out of 250 top 5 picks over 50 years, 4 safeties have gone in the top 5. 2 had pedestrian careers. 1 Hall of Famer. 1 guy that had an excellent career, but it was cut short by a unforeseen disease. I don't take a safety positional value at 5. I don't take a tier 4 defender at 5 when I'm already suspect in the second level or second tier and the third tier. I know people are going to be like, well, he had Ed Reed and he had Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton did not become Kyle Hamilton until this year, and they put him inside and they put him in the box. I don't see Caleb Downs playing in the box, and I also don't see Caleb Downs playing. If you go back and look at some of his film at Ohio State, I don't see him as a guy I 100% trust to be my center fielder. No, I'm not really craving Chinese food, but thank you for asking. Thank you for Jets land $73 million all-pro. Who did the Jets just get? Was that Mika Fitzpatrick? That's old news. Let's see. Dolphins trade Mika Fitzpatrick to the Jets. That's old news. Why is that coming up? Why is that coming up? Have I seen anything besides the mighty FanDuel.com? FanDuel.com, number 1 sportsbook in America. Go right now and download that app. Let's see. Is there anything else going on here? When feeling lonely. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. Actually, I did not know this, and this is actually going to fall into the salary cap issue. The 5th overall pick has a salary cap hit of $8.29 million in 2026. I did not know that. That's interesting. Now you got to remember there is you have to set aside X out of your salary cap space, X amount of room for your draft class. Now the problem is a lot of people think you're going to have to set away. Like I said, if you have X amount of picks, and let's say you have $20 million in all those picks, you don't have to set away. You don't have to set aside $20 million. You only have to set aside the guaranteed money, and the only guaranteed money usually is in your first and second round pick. So let's say if you have 20 million, you probably have to set away 9. That it's going to go against your cap because everything else is non-guaranteed money until the start of the season. So let's see here. I'm surprised moves coming into more cap room from these signings. I wouldn't say any team we've made are surprising. No, I don't think you're right. I don't think anything we've done is surprising. What I find 100% surprising with the Giants is the fact that we didn't overpay for anything outside of potentially a corner, which we're not going to talk about yet. Oh, because I was telling you, with I had to sit down with a media analyst. And they're like, I love what you do. We love what you, I always love it. We love what you do. And you're awesome at it. That's always a good way to fill your head. Being awesome. And they go, but your problem is this. And I said, oh, geez, here comes the fucking problem. The problem is you're usually right, but you say it too early. You need to wait like a couple weeks before. It's like the Greg Newsome thing. Everyone, 8 to 10 million and 3 million guaranteed. And I keep looking at this deal going, this doesn't make any fucking sense for a guy that has never really played a full season or played extremely well. And his pass percentage and yardage and touchdowns allowed kind of show that. And the more his snap count goes up, the more his production in regards to stopping the pass goes down. So they told me you need to wait like a week or two before you say what you want to say, even though you are correct. You need to wait. Let the euphoria die down in people's heads before you bring in honesty. which I thought was great. Which was great. What do we got here? Do you think the Jets and Giants made changes to the field with all these injuries? No. They just put in a new turf 2 years ago. They're not going to change. And I've shown this. Did I delete it? I deleted it. We used to have pictures. Oh, no, I didn't. Here we go. Here's the giant turf. This was last year. You can, and they went with this synthetic shit that's all these other places, but you could see you literally, when you're on the field, you can see the seams still in the turf. And this was last year. So, and I know the turf got an F from the Giants, and I agree with it. It's a crappy field, but people forget what people rank as the best field in the NFL is in Arizona, which is a natural, which is that great field in Arizona. But the most injuries and ACL injuries that occur, wait for it, is in Arizona. The Giants and the Jets, if you take a look at major injuries, people will say, well, they're in the top 10. Here's the problem. Unlike most teams, the Jets and the Giants have 16, if not 17 to 18 home games compared to 8 from other teams. That's the reason why they're that high up. But if you actually break it down for the Jets and the Giants, they're not even in the top 15. I know. That's why you come here, guys. That's why they come here. That's why you come here. It's the brilliance. Hit the like button or else Tim will play Young Joker. Big spenders all shot their wads. Now they're spending to slow down. It's now the car dealership, once the new models come in, going to be a lot of talent at a discount. I agree. Joe, I agree 100%. There's going to be a lot of guys out there we're going to expect these big contracts that are not going to get them. That are not going to, they're not going to get that cash that they think they're going to get.
Has helped.
So, guys, hit the like button. We only have 56 likes. Can I get at least up to 70? Can I get a what? Let's see here. Joe Ferry says, let's see. A lot of second rounders are getting guaranteed contract. Expect them all to this year. Yeah, probably will. They will never put grass in the MetLife because I said it costs too much to maintain. Giants used to have grass. People forget, in the Meadowlands, the Giants had a grass field for a couple years, and it sucked. It was god awful. And then having 2 teams play tore that thing up. It's difficult in a cold weather climate and not a retractable dome when you have multiple NFL teams playing almost weekly on that field to maintain that field.
Ma'am? Yes, hon. More Hot Pockets. Right away, hon.
I don't want to get into politics. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Let's see. What does James says? You're driving. You're driving the snow. It's let's see here. You lose $20 to $40 million a year in injuries. That's absurd. It's not really preventable. Like I said, the best field in the league is considered to be Arizona. It is considered to be Arizona. Yes. And how many teams play in Denver? Joe, how many teams play in Denver? Petro says, would you take a wide receiver cheap in free agency right now? Maybe an older guy like a Keenan Allen who could put. I would take a Keenan Allen now. Why not? Why not? I wouldn't. More Hot Pockets. Why? We're not getting into politics. I'm not getting into politics today. Aren't they going to put in a grass field for the World Cup? Yes, they are. Yes, they are going to put in a grass field for the World Cup because you have to play in a grass field. And the last time they had a grass field for the World Cup, which was years ago, that shit got torn up so bad they actually almost canceled some games from the World Cup. A grass field, people think this solution to everything is just put in grass. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. And yes, players prefer grass. I played in high school in the old Meadowlands on that synthetic. I have a large chunk rolled up in the other room of synthetic turf from the Meadowlands. And it was great because this turf, which is only like this thick, and they used to say it's like playing on concrete. Why? Because there was a level of concrete and no padding in the early 80s and mid 90s on that field. They did put a padding and a heating system years later, but that you were literally playing on concrete. And players survived. I want to check something here. I'm curious about something. Feeling lonely. Let's see here. I'm feeling lonely. Let's see here. They actually say that Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville is one of the worst turfs. I've actually seen the Jacksonville Stadium turf. It's pretty bad. Bank of America. I think it's funny that worst turfs, Hard Rock Stadium, grass. Bank of America, grass. That's in Jacksonville. MetLife Stadium is synthetic. Jacksonville, it's a grass field. They actually have the Bengals as 25th. They have Levi Stadium as 23rd. These are all grass fields, guys. Chicago is 22nd. There's more grass fields than you think there are. The top fields, which I do think is interesting, is Lucas Oil Stadium at 9, Arrowhead at 8, Mercedes Field in Atlanta, which is turf. You have the field in Seattle. Let's see here. You have the Allegiant Stadium. You have SoFi, grass. 8 Dallas Cowboy Stadium, turf is turf. Minnesota, I believe Minnesota's grass. I don't know if Minnesota's grass. And the number 1 ranked field is Lambeau Field, which is a grass field. But you got a lot of fields there that are listed that are that are the worst fields that are grass. Players survive 3-a-days. I've already told this story a million times before, especially with the Giants when they were up in New York doing training camp, that you had a morning practice and you had an evening practice. I talked about when I worked over in Tampa. You had an 8:30 a.m. practice, which you ran to 12. You had meetings. You had lunch, you had meetings, and then you came back on the field at 4. And then you ran till 6. You had more meetings. You cleaned up, you had dinner, and then you had meetings from like 8 to 11. And then you had lights out. Yeah, we survived. Whatever happened with Tavon Diggs? I don't know. Good question. I just don't like the new synthetic turf fields. I walked on it at my daughter's high school, and that was weird and dangerous. You know, it's interesting with the synthetic field. If you walked on the field that the Giants and Jets used to have before they changed the field a couple of years ago, yeah, there is a difference between the two fields, and it is a little weird. Chode Sports said that we should pay Linderbaum and re-sign Bellinger. That's why I love the person.
Stupid Giant Twitter post.
I don't remember who it is, but I'm going to bring it up on the Stupid Giant Twitter post that told me that I shouldn't call people other names or make fun of people or call them Chode Sports because they're people and humans just like everything else. Well, don't fucking lie to the fan base. Don't do things for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. And don't tell me not what to do, because when you tell me what to do, my wife will tell you. You tell me what to do, I do the exact fucking opposite. What do we got? New York Yankee and New York Giants. New to the channel. Love it. What do you want the Giants to do with the 5th overall pick? Well, New York Yankees, New York Giants. I'm glad you were able to find us. We on this channel, since you are new to the channel, we have been on the Sonny, and I can't remember. I want to give credit to the person that got me on the Sonny Styles train but I can't remember who it was. And you're probably in the chat. And if you remember, if it was you, just give yourself a shout out. We were on the Sonny Styles train before the combine. And if I can get a 3-down linebacker, which we have not seen on this team in years, who is a sideline to sideline guy, who people say, some people are going to say, well, he's kind of a tweener. He's kind of an Isaiah Simmons, but he's not an Isaiah Simmons. He did play safety. This will only be his 3rd year at linebacker. He is maturing into this position, and he covers well. Imagine having an outside linebacker who you can pair with your undersized defensive end and help set the edge, maintain his gap assignments, and still be able to cover and be on the field for 3 downs, and potentially could come into his own as a pass rusher. That's Sonny Styles. You take him with Tremaine Edmonds and you pair them. I've already said this. I don't know if you heard it earlier. I'm the Giants. I take Sonny Styles. Let's just say we're putting him on the right side. I'm putting him on the right side with Abdul Carter, because Abdul Carter is an undersized defensive end who doesn't know how to set the edge, who teams run directly at. I pair him on that outside with, and he's not going to be, like I said, Abdul Carter is never going to be like the year in 2011, Osi Umenyiora and JPP both had 80 plus tackles from the defensive end position. It's never going to be that. You're going to use them as a pass rusher and use them to be a disruptor. But teams attack that. So what you do is you take a Sonny Styles and you line them up on the outside with Carter, and you keep Tremaine Edmonds on the inside with Styles and Carter. You basically solidified the right side of your line, and you're going to stop and prevent the run, which we gave a 5.6 yards per carry last year. And you're doing that with a kid who is a 3-down linebacker, side to sideline guy, and who can cover. Makes all the sense in the world. It makes even you signed Tremaine Edmonds, which was a great deal. Makes all the sense in the fucking world. Would the Giants have done something like that a year ago or 2 years ago? Oh, hell no. Now, what we see what's going on with Joe being put in the closet like R. Kelly and John Harbaugh and Dawn, we're seeing contracts that are below league average for the talent level. Like we mentioned before, the Tremaine Aluminor, at above average right tackles are making between 10 and 18 million. He's making 13. Tremaine Edmonds, who would have had a $27 million dead cap number, paying almost $17 million, what we got for 12. And he's paying less basically than Bobby Okereke, who we overpaid 3 years ago for that off the ball linebacker. So it just like I said, years ago, we wouldn't have done this, but now it just makes sense. It's a perfect situational fit. And we talked about earlier, the way the draft is breaking down, I still think you're going, of course you're going Mendoza. You're going Mendoza 1. And then if you take a look at what all the other teams have done, you have to kind of figure, okay, the draft is going to change a little bit. We've talked about it. The draft is going to change a little bit. I still see Reese going to the Jets. I think it's locked in. I think Love will probably go 4 to Tennessee. And if Arizona does not take an offensive lineman, I think they'll probably go with David Bailey. And then you're sitting there with Sonny Styles at 5, and he makes the most sense right now from what the New York Giants do. Who do you think the Giants will sign next, ST Sports? I hope they do go wide receiver. I hope there was a talk of Keenan Allen. I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing Keenan Allen in on the cheap. I think that would be an interesting fit. I think that would be. I'm trying to think who else is. I know Juwan Jennings is still out there. I mean, I would love to get Jennings, but unless Jennings comes in on a team friendly deal, I don't see it. But I mean, someone like Juwan Jennings would be perfect for the Giants. I don't know if they could do it salary cap wise, but I think he would be a perfect fit for the Giants. He's a fucking knucklehead extraordinaire. and I get that. But he's a big target. He's a downfield blocker. He is a guy that at times can take over a game, and he can take all the pressure off Malik Neighbors. The turf in Dallas and LA are a different brand than oh yes, they are a different brand. Don't know what it is. It's easier in the body. Yeah, it definitely is different. I don't know what the different brand is. Also, I just subbed. I like your content. Well, T Sports, thank you very much. I think you missed. We just gave away something for we just hit 12,600. We just gave away. We just gave away a prize for that. So maybe next time you come up and when we have a contest, you can jump on, have a little prize going on there. Let's see what else. Just buy some grass and kick the Jets out. I would love that. It was me. It was Petro. Okay, Petro. There you go. I knew somebody was. Instead of taking shots of fireball, now they give you shout outs for money. Watch this. Greg, shout out. Petro, shout out. Joe, shout out. T Sports, shout out. Mom, more Hot Pockets.
Yes, hon. More Hot Pockets. Right away, hon.
Shout out. Joe Ferry, shout out. Look at that. Now you all owe me money. Super chats. Mike Lee, shout out. New York Yankees, New York Giants, shout out. Now give me money. You guys know I'll never ask you for money. You know that. And I will sit here and I will read every freaking, not everyone, but especially people that leave a lot of comments. I try to make sure everyone gets, but I will read the majority of the comments. The other day, we had like 1,100 comments, and I think I probably read 900 of them. Mike Lee says, I'm responsible for the second Sonny Styles, which was a live stream. You are right, too. Let's see. Chode Sports are alcoholic jesters who run ring duck races and steal from their supporters. I will give Chode Sports credit. They took the one guy that I call Mr. Burns. I used to stand there like this. Excellent. And now he stands there like this. So I do give him credit on that. It's not as distressing to watch from what people tell me. And you gave me credit on the Mike Lee, I'm going to give you credit again. They also have raffles and take people's money. I don't do that. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. I figure if you're I was about to say dumb enough to watch this show. I figure if you watch this show, why am I going to take money from you? I mean, that's why we donate all the super chats to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. They need it more than I do. But that's why we also do appreciate super chats, because we were able to donate the money and do that on a monthly basis. It's never a ton amount, but it's always good to give. So we always do it anonymously, because I don't know. I don't like talking about myself and being a good guy. Fuck you all. I always love it when people give me compliments, because my brother James Williams knows not to do that. Because my response usually after a compliment is, I really appreciate it, and go fuck yourself. Don't like it. I always said I don't like it. It makes me feel all funny. And we have that sound effect, don't we? You're feeling lonely. Why do I have Backstreet Boys stuck in my head? Oh, here we go.
I don't like it. Make me feel all funny.
Greg says, yeah, I know. I used to follow Chat Sports. Jennings is a badass, but he's going to ask for like 30 million. He's fucking crazy. If I'm assuming Juwan Jennings has not signed right now. Is there any speculation about where he could potentially go? Because after what the 49ers did with Mike Evans, which was that was
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
That was a crack move to give him $67 million. No, maybe the Broncos are saying, but like I said, Juwan Jennings, to me, he would check a lot of boxes for the Giants. But it would be. Does anyone want to give me credit that 2 sound effects in a row now? I knew where they were. He blocks like a mofo. He does. That's what I'm saying. You put Juwan Dennings downfield and you get Malik Neighbors in there and you got Isaiah Likely. He's sitting there either in the slot or the tight end position and you get yourself a quality running back with Jackson Dart. You could be dangerous as long as the offensive line holds up. Harbaugh does put high value on linebackers. They moved off of CJ Mosley and Patrick Queen within 4 years. If he moved to Baltimore office, it seems like a trade back is going to happen. They didn't really move off. I think Baltimore going back to the Ozzie Newsome Jr. full days when he was fully in charge, they had a philosophy and an understanding of not overpaying players that fit the system, but not breaking. They kind of did what the old Giants used to do in the 80s and the 90s, and what what Bill Belichick used to do with the New England Patriots. You don't overpay for your talent, and sometimes the salary outpaces the actual level of talent. And I think that's kind of what, because you take a look at what CJ Mosley did with the Jets, and you take a look at what Queen did over the Pittsburgh. I'm not overly impressed. He's a tough guy too. He does play through entry, and he can take over games at times. Greg says one thing about Tim is he sets him apart from all the best John Connors is his integrity. He is not biased, and he never is driven by money. He focuses always on honest analysts. You are right. And if you go now, you can go to mightyfanduel.com. FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. Dead quiet on Jennings. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I didn't think he would be a first day signing, but I thought he would have been off the board by now. How do you think Dart will improve? How do you think Nagy will improve Dart? It's going to be Nagy and Callahan. Now, if you go back and look at Matt Nagy's track record as an OC, and for all the morons that were like, well, he never called the plays in Chicago. Matt Nagy called the plays in Chicago his entire career there as the head coach, outside of one section. Outside of one season, I think it was in 22 for like 4 games. He's a West Coast guy. He's a short passing guy. We've talked about this before. If it's me, if it's I am going to use a George Seifert style 1994 West Coast offense when they put up all those big numbers with Steve Young. Use the short pass as my run game. I'm going to look for the deep shot within the tight end, and I'm going to try to create one-on-one matchups in reference to Malik Neighbors. And I'm going to do what Jackson Dart throws the ball between -2 and 8 yards. And that 11-yard window, he's dangerous. Is when you start going, we've shown the charts, when he starts going over that 10-yard ratio. And the white is, if you take a look at all the white, they're always over 10 yards. When he starts looking at that ratio over 10 yards, his passing percentage, even going back to Ole Miss, it goes down. So keep the game in front. These are all Jackson Dart's passing charts. You notice all the white is always above 10 yards. Do what he does well. Use his mobility, create mismatches, and create an environment where you're having an open field and an open shot for Malik Neighbors at times. We need a running back and 2 more wide receivers. Yeah, we do. We do. I'm going to drop the link in the chat a minute. This is always fun and dangerous. This is always fun and dangerous for a few minutes because I'm going to hang out for a few minutes, but I do have to leave around 6 or so. Hey, off Broadway, you home from work? Did we get you off Broadway? Did we get you home for the drive? We need a lot. And that's what I'm saying. Let's see. How far can the market on Jennings and Chanel drop? And they could drop. They can drop a lot. They could drop exponentially. We've seen this happen many times. Players that thought that maybe have priced themselves off the market or out of the market, then kind of reach a point where they're grabbing deals, because as free agency we saw with Asante Samuel Jr. last year. Dude wanted big money. Dude wanted cash. He wanted the coin. He wanted the quan. What happened? He was a late season signing with Pittsburgh because he doesn't fit a lot of systems. Because he is not a press cover corner. He's not a big guy. He's a zone guy. He would have been perfect. And I said it before a million times. He would have been perfect for Shane Bowen's system. But now, like I said, I don't think with Denard Wilson, I don't think he's in there. James says, Tim, your show is way better than most other shows on YouTube. Well, I appreciate that. Home from work. Good. Cat's fingers. James is still upset about the Knick game yesterday. Well, we're not going to talk about that. Wonder if Trey Hendrickson is pricing himself out of the contract. I expect him to bet. I expected him to be gone now as well. I think he's looking. You got to remember where he comes from. The problem is a lot of the money's getting burned up. And this is the problem with second day, third day, fourth day free agents. The money's disappearing. The money's going away. Uh-oh. We're going to call him the bearded charmer. It's the one. It's the only. I'm not sure what he's eating, but it's the T-Brad. I love the hat. Grapes.
Great. Thank you.
I love the hat.
Thank you, bro. How you doing?
I don't know. I've been better.
I feel good.
You feel good? You look good.
Thanks, brother. You look good. Play. I think we haven't overpaid for anybody yet, so I'm happy.
That's got to be good right there, right?
That's winning by subtraction.
Were you surprised at all the number of the contract for Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah.
Not that he went to Tennessee, just the total value of the contract.
Yeah. I mean, they like him that much. I think he's going to be really great when he's got two better people in front of him, and he can get in space. He can catch the ball. He's probably the best hands person we had on our team as far as catching the ball, but he deserved that money just somewhere else.
This is a team that also had Darius Slayton on it, so I don't know if that's really much of a compliment.
You're saying in the worst of the worst, he rises to the top.
You're right.
The worst possible situation, he stands at the top. So
he's a cream of the crop. He rises to the top. Tremaine Aluminor. I was kind of surprised that and like I said, I would like to get a fuller understanding of the deal, but I was kind of surprised he came back for the Giants for $13 million a year. I mean, that is for a player of his caliber. If you take a look at, like, if you have the first tier level is probably, anywhere between, 15 million to 20 million. And then you got the next tier level, which is probably between, like 8 or 9 to 15 million. He came in the middle. He came in the middle ground. He came in at 13 million. Do you think it was a soft market for him, or do you think that maybe he gave the Giants a hometown discount? Because I'm kind of surprised he came back for only 13 million after the season he had last year.
Only thing will make somebody do that, like, it's not like he's a lifetime Giant.
No.
The only thing to make it out there, because he's got his agent. His agent's out there kicking the tires on some deals and hearing about some stuff. And if his agent don't hear nothing hot, he's going to tell him, you might want to take this, because the money starts dropping after you can't go out in the streets and get a better offer.
Well, he was supposed to be on the Kay Adams show at noon when free agency kicked off, and a lot of people got a little leery because he canceled. He postponed it. He came on, I think, today. So a lot of people were thinking that he was out on the marketplace and that he probably wasn't coming back at that point in time. The Tremaine Edmonds signing, I look at that, and so many people wanted to trade for him for Kayvon Thibodeau and, like, I don't know, X pick. I always said it didn't make sense to trade for a guy that's on a 1-year deal that's going to have a $27 million cap hit and a $17 million salary. But again, another guy at 27 years old who was a better linebacker than Bobby Okereke, you're only paying a little bit more than you did for Bobby. And I think he fits the Giants scheme and system a lot better than anyone else in the marketplace besides a Quay Walker.
Right. But at a better price.
Right. Quay Walker only got $10 million a year.
Oh, okay.
So
I really wanted Nakobe Dean though. I really wanted Nakobe Dean.
Well, they paired him up with Walker in LA. I mean, not LA, in Vegas.
Yeah, but a lot of the people that I did want, they weren't at the prices that I would want. Like I wanted Kareem Walker, I wanted Kenneth Walker, not at that price. I wanted
that price. No.
Linderbaum, of course, but not at that price. Peace, Angry James, man.
We got Big Greg. We got everyone wishing
Let's
you
get
well.
the gang on here. Let's get the gang on here.
I think James is at work. I think he's
don't
working.
get fired, brother.
Yeah, don't get fired. Oh, Picho, I won't know how much cap space they have left till tomorrow because the contracts have to be ratified at the league office on 4 p.m. on Wednesday. So we probably won't have a complete understanding or cap number because there's no way to do a fluidity of the cap right now because we have no idea what the details of the contracts are. We have no idea what the signing bonuses are. We have no idea about anything. We just have the years and the total amount and the guaranteed. So we don't
know the functional cap space.
We don't know thank you. We don't know the functional cap. Not yet. And plus there's going to be a lot of restructures and there's going to be some more people that are going to be looking for jobs starting tomorrow at 4:00. So we'll get a better idea.
I don't think the free agency, like right now, I get a free agency a B minus, not a B minus. I'll give them a B to B plus. I'm sorry, I meant B plus A minus. But because the main thing I'm liking is these contracts are fitting really nice with the level of talent. You know what I mean? We're not hoping we pay them more and they play better magically because they get more money. It doesn't work that way. So I'm already seeing the Harborough effect and whoever the lady is. What's the name of the lady that came in and handling the books?
That's Dawn. I mean, like I know her personally. That's Dawn. That's
Dawn. Oh yeah, you can feel her influence on this. Like, no, you're not going to spend this money for this 34-year-old washed up used to be Pro Bowler. Nate Solder.
Well, that was an Abrams and Gettleman. The only thing I don't get, and the only thing that doesn't make any sense to me, and I've said this before, and I don't know the contract value, but it's the Greg Newsome signing. Some people are saying it's a 1 year, potentially up to $10 million, $3 million guaranteed. But if you watch this guy play the last couple of years, I mean, we've shown it before. As his production, or I should say, as a snap count goes up, his production in regard to stopping the pass goes down. And these are worse than Drew Phillips's numbers. I mean, you give up 67, almost 68% completion percentage for 641 yards on 78 attempts and 5 touchdowns, and only 2 pass breakups. I mean, I can't. And then people are like, well, he could potentially be a reclamation project for Denard Wilson, but we already have that in Deontay Banks, Drew Phillips, and Paulson Adebo. So that's the only move. I give him, like I said, first day, I give him an A. I give him an A because of the fact that you finally have a punter that we can trust. You can finally play field position. You finally have a tight end who can play the slot and stretch the field. You brought back your starting right tackle, and you got a defender that we have not seen at linebacker his caliber in years. It's got and you did not overpay for. You didn't underpay. You didn't overpay for Wandale Robinson, Cordell Flott, or Daniel Bellinger. And that's why I've said, to me, it's the first day is a home run. The first day is an A.
Excuse me. It's important to know when to let people go. And I think we had a problem with that, not in just the Joe Shane regime, but the Gettleman regime too.
Yeah.
Who was that guy? And I'm going back. He was a linebacker. He fought through cancer.
The guy with the mohawk from Boston College.
He had a great story, but we definitely kept him on.
Mark Herslick.
Who?
Mark Herslick.
Yeah, he had a great story, but we definitely kept him on too long. Sometimes we a little too emotional with some players. It's like when you look at it, we had such a pattern of letting the good players go and overpaying the bad players. Like we paid Slayton with, Barkley wanted. We paid Daniel Jones a crazy amount of money, and we didn't draft Malik Willis. Because if we drafted Malik Willis, maybe we don't need to give Daniel Jones that big contract because he just got signed to 3 years, 67
million. 67 million. Most of it's guaranteed. I mean, that's well, we're not gonna.
I find
we're not
Great.
we're not gonna brag about Malik. That's right. That'd be
Yes,
wrong.
we are.
We're not gonna brag about Malik.
Yes, we are. This channel, all talk about it. Tim started it.
We're not bragging about it. Never. That would be wrong. We don't do that here.
Yes, we do.
I know we do. I'm being facetious.
I don't know. I want them to know. How they say on Kill Bill, I want them to know that I want them to know.
Yep. Oh, I agree.
Very,
but we'll never
tough
get credit. We'll never get credit though. So that's why I'm like, we do things here, but we don't get credit. So that's fine. No, we're not bitter.
No, we're gonna bang on our drum all day.
We could.
This is gonna be an interesting draft. I gotta see how they're gonna piss me off.
No negativity, man. There's nothing to be pissed off about. You got the Harbaugh in charge. He's large and Harbaugh in charge. He's got
Hello?
Yeah, it's the I gotta decline that. That's the wife. That's the wife. Oh, that's the wife telling me it's 6:00. It's 6:00 for the 267 people still watching. I do have to head out. It is. Hit the like button, please. We will stream again tomorrow at 4. That's when the NFL. That's when all the contracts come off the books. This is when all the contracts go to the league office and get ratified. We'll have a better understanding of the cap space. We'll have a better understanding what direction the Giants are going to go to, and we're going to move forward that way. Don't forget also, you can find us everywhere you place podcasts, and we're also on the Believe Network and the mightyfanduel.com, the number one sports book in America. I want to thank everyone that hang out the last 2 hours. It's always fun to talk New York Football Giants. It's always had to talk to and have nothing, have something to talk about, T.
Yeah, good to feel good for a change.
You know what? And I think that's how we're going to end the show. It's good to feel good about the New York Football Giants. This is Tim. This is T-Brad. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the Mighty FanDuel on the Believe Network. And we'll see you tomorrow at 4.